Oh my God. The Rockies are really bad, man. It's early in this young season, but the NL West division is already looking terrifying from the outside. And one team I really didn't expect to be in the mix, let alone at the top this early, is the San Francisco Giants. But it kind of makes sense. When you look up and down this lineup, it's not shocking at all, though I'm going to hold my breath a little bit on the starting pitching. 42-year-old Justin Verlander, let's see what you got, Unk. But for this Bay Area team to compete with the super team Los Angeles Dodgers, the reigning best offense Arizona Diamondbacks, or the top-heavy, superstar talented San Diego Padres, they're gonna need a lot of things to go right in 2025. And in my opinion, the biggest wild card of all is their center fielder, Jung Hoo Lee. We didn't really get to know the grandson of the wind last year. He only played in 37 games before he went down with a season-ending shoulder injury. But early on in 2025, Lee is kind of making a name for himself as one of the more exciting players to watch in baseball right now. So let's get to know Jung Hoo Lee all over again. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I could really use your help, and thanks. Jung Hoo Lee was and still is Korean baseball royalty. He's the son of Jung Bum Lee, who was formerly nicknamed the Son of the Wind. He won the KBO MVP award in 1994, racking up 84 stolen bases, which remains the single-season record in the KBO 3 decades later. Not to mention 6 gold gloves at shortstop, 13 all-star nods, and over 2,000 hits as part of a 19-year professional career that was also kind of cut short by injury. Lee's father was a 4-time Korean Series champion when he finally hung up his spikes following the 2012 season, just 6 years away from his son making his own KBO debut. Jung Hoo Lee had massive shoes to fill, to say the least, and it all began with his nickname that he earned from his lineage, Grandson of the Wind. At just 18 years old, Jung Hoo Lee became the first rookie drafted straight out of high school to play every game for his KBO team as a first-year pro. Not only that, Jung Hoo Lee was really good as a rookie, winning KBO Rookie of the Year honors with a .324 batting average and .812 OPS across 144 games. He displayed elite contact skills as a rookie athlete, a talent that he said he always prioritized in his training from a young age. Josh Lindblom, a pitcher who won the 2019 KBO MVP award for the Doosan Bears, said Lee had the most advanced bat-to-ball skills of anybody in the league from the time he was just 18 years old. In every season of Jung Hoo Lee's 7-year run in the KBO for the Kiwoom Heroes, Lee hit over 300 and never slashed an OPS below 800, while playing premier defense at all 3 outfield spots with a cannon for an arm. For 5 years in a row, from 2019 to 2023, Lee also drew more walks than strikeouts annually. Elite bat-to-ball skills, a masterful knowledge of the strike zone, a cannon for an arm in the outfield. Does this profile remind you of any other notable Asian baseball player? Hell, even Josh Lindblom called him Ichiro light at 18 years old. Jung Hoo Lee donned the number 51 for his idol, Ichiro Suzuki, who Lee said was one of his favorite players growing up. The cool thing is that you could see Ichiro's influence on Lee's playstyle. He was a contact machine with a fundamental understanding of the strike zone, which struck many as tools that could translate very well to an eventual jump to MLB. In Lee's own words, striking out means you're just going down without a fight, but once you put the ball in play, you never know what's going to happen. It was his 2022 campaign that truly put him on the map as someone who could potentially take the leap overseas. Lee took home the 2022 KBO MVP honors thanks to a surprising power outburst. He hit 23 home runs, surpassing the 20 homer threshold for the first and only time in his professional career. He won another batting title, leading all hitters with a .349 average. He set career best with a .996 OPS and 113 runs batted in as well. His 2022 MVP win also made Jung Hoo Lee and his father, Jung Bum Lee, the only father-son duo in KBO history to both win an MVP award. So this is essentially the KBO version of Vladdy and Vladdy Sr. or Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. Like, this is historic baseball lineage. He also became one of only 3 players in KBO history to win both Rookie of the Year and MVP in their league, alongside former Dodgers ace Hyunjin Ryu. Though he would miss roughly 60 games the following season with injury, there was still a considerable amount of hype surrounding Jung Hoo Lee's posting when the time finally arrived in the offseason heading into 2024. In an MLB free agency class headlined by Shohei Ohtani that also included Matt Chapman, Cody Bellinger, and Teoscar Hernandez as marquee position players, no one really knew where Jung Hoo Lee would end up or exactly how much he would get. Before we get on with today's breakdown though, I gotta thank today's sponsor, which is DirecTV. I know you. You're a baseball fan, and you like to watch your baseball games nice and easily. And the best provider you can do that with is DirecTV. There's no satellite dish required to watch all the baseball games you love. Baseball isn't just a sport, it's a passion, and the best way to transform your baseball viewing experience is by not having to worry about any satellite dishes on top of your roof. So if you're ready to not miss a single inning of this season, scan the QR code on the screen or click the link down below at directv.com/johnboy to set up your plan today. And thank you so much to DirecTV for sponsoring another one of my videos. And now let's get back to today's video. But the San Francisco Giants gave us our answer. They inked Jung Hoo Lee to a 6-year, $113 million contract. The Bay Area franchise also had to pay a posting fee to acquire Lee's services, costing them an additional $18 million, which brought total expenses north of $130 million. Considering that Ha-Sung Kim received a 4-year deal worth $28 million in comparison, expectations were set understandably high for Jung Hoo Lee. After all, Ha-Sung Kim just finished the 2023 season as a top 10 player in all of baseball by wins above replacement. For the San Francisco Giants, they were buying in on a player who would only be 31 years old by the time his contract ran out. He had demonstrated capabilities of elite contact skills, plate discipline, and an ability to play all 3 outfield positions well. He didn't have the reliable home run power or above average base running to truly profile him as a 5-tool player, but those 2 skills are often the most difficult to translate between leagues, as history has often showed us. Also, above all the contact skills and defensive prowess and the speed, the Giants got themselves an aura guy, and that's pretty valuable. I mean, look at these clips and tell me you don't feel any aura. Imagine if the Giants were like, hey man, we need someone for this photo shoot. Tyler Fitzgerald, you got some free time? Come on in. No slack on Tyler Fitzgerald, but I mean, look. Let's also put ourselves in the shoes of the San Francisco Giants for just a second. A year prior, they had narrowly missed out on bringing Aaron Judge into the fold on a massive deal. They had Carlos Correa signed to a massive deal before they pulled out last second due to a physical, and they were a major player in the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes before he went to a division rival. They had the capital to spend, they had people in charge who were unafraid to spend it, yet no one would take their money. Whether it was the inconsistent performance of their roster core or the undesirable dimensions of their home stadium, San Francisco could not attract the star-level position player that they desperately needed to compete in a ferocious division. With this signing of Jung Hoo Lee, was that call truly answered? In my opinion, it wasn't, even though bringing in someone of his talent level was a much-needed step in the right direction. The only thing I knew with certainty as a third-party fan is that the pressure was going to be immense on Jung Hoo Lee's shoulders from the get-go. After hitting just 200 in his first 9 games as a big league outfielder, Jung Hoo Lee caught fire in mid-April. He strung together an 11-game hit streak, collecting multiple knocks in over half of those games. Though he battled inconsistency through his first month and change as an MLB position player, Lee showed flashes of brilliance at the plate and routinely made flashy plays out in a cavernous outfield at Oracle Park. But on May 12th, Lee's rookie season came to a crashing, sudden thud. Quite literally. Jung Hoo Lee, never afraid to lay his body on the line to make a play, went crashing hard into the center field fence, attempting to rob a Jamer Candelario extra base hit, resulting in a significant shoulder injury. 5 days after getting lifted from this game in the first inning, it was announced that Jung Hoo Lee would require season-ending surgery on a torn labrum in his left shoulder. Just mere weeks before this injury happened, Mike Yastrzemski was talking in an interview with The Athletic about Jung Hoo Lee's intense level of play, saying that he's willing to run into the wall in center field and that he's done it a few times already and that he just really wants his team to win. Talk about foresight. Does this count as a jinx? Jung Hoo Lee's 2024 rookie campaign was over before it really got started, but even in his small sample of just 158 plate appearances, he still showed flashes of great potential. He ranked among the top of MLB concerning major plate discipline metrics. He swung and missed at just 6.4% of pitches in the strike zone, the 3rd best rate among 411 MLB hitters with that many plate appearances. In fact, he ranked in the top 4 of the league or better in the same sample size for making contact on pitches inside of the zone, outside of the zone, and not whiffing when he did take swings. And the names at the top? Steven Kwan and Luis Arias. Over the course of a full season, it's very likely that Jung Hoo Lee would have been regarded as one of the best contact hitters in the game, and maybe this year's the year where that finally comes to fruition. In terms of his athleticism, he ranked in the 97th percentile for arm strength, registering a velocity of 94.2 miles per hour on his hardest throws. Giants manager Bob Melvin characterized the early loss analysis of Jung Hoo Lee quite well, saying that he got hurt so early that you lost sight of how important he was, and that you could see him making adjustments from day one when he was healthy. And I think many baseball fans who watched Jung Hoo Lee play shared his skipper's optimism about his ceiling as a big leaguer. But at this point, it's also completely naive to ignore the injury history that Jung Hoo Lee has had the past few years. Lee had capsule surgery on that same left shoulder back in 2018. He missed most of his 2023 contract year in the KBO with a fractured ankle, and then of course this crash into the wall, which resulted in a torn labrum. Was this going to be his reputation as a baseball player? It was a question on many people's minds when spring training rolled around this season, as the hype surrounding Jung Hoo Lee had understandably dwindled, and the spotlight on his own team even shifted elsewhere. With the new signings of Willy Adames and Justin Verlander, the focus was less on Jung Hoo Lee to perform at a superstar level, but rather just to stay on the field. Instead of the injury-prone label, we're instead seeing the early blossoming of a very promising big league center fielder through the first 2 weeks of a very young season. Per the recording of this video, Lee is slashing an OPS over 30% better than league average, hitting over 300, and leading the league with 6 doubles. He hasn't gotten caught stealing yet in a handful of attempts, his walk rate is up from last year, and he still appears to be a defensive plus out in center field. It's early, very early, but baseball fans are rightfully getting pretty excited about what Jung Hoo Lee could become in MLB. After all, even with all those KBO years and recent injuries plaguing his playing time, Jung Hoo Lee is only 26 years old. He's got plenty of years ahead of him. Fans are dying for Jung Hoo Lee to become a superstar. The Giants even have their own section of fans dedicated to rooting for Jung Hoo Lee called the Hooligans.
Do you guys get it?
Hell, even this Korean radio broadcast can't help themselves from going absolutely ballistic on what was just a deep flyout. This young center fielder has all the charisma in the world, the flair for the dramatic in the outfield, the contact expertise that makes all of his at-bats must-watch, and overall, an absurd amount of potential in every facet of his game. 2025 could be the year we see Jung Hoo Lee put all the pieces together and become a prominent big league outfielder. And if I'm being honest, I have a really tough time seeing the San Francisco Giants compete for a National League playoff spot without Lee's breakout. Not all the pressure is on him, but the pressure is certainly on. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you learned something. If you did, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time.